that I got for Christmas this year was a gift card to my favorite independent bookstore, and I got that one from my husband. Thank you. I went crazy in there because I could. So I'm just showing you this haul because I actually got gifted all these books. I didn't buy them myself, but I got to choose them, which is the best part anyway. Except for reading them, of course. So as you can see, it's a good one. Let's start with the first bag. I have The Mighty Red by Lewis Eldridge, which was recommended very highly by the salesman, who has very good taste, by the way. You need a bookshop and you need to know the owner and you need to know that they have good taste. It is about two people who are sort of accidentally getting married. The woman wasn't actually intending to say yes, and she has a friend who actually wants to steal her back from the person she is going to marry now. Next we have The Precipice by Robert Harris. This one is about a minister who is having, the prime minister, who is having an affair or a relationship with a woman during the war with Germany. And then this woman where he is having this relationship with is considered a threat or might be a spy. And the last one in this bag is All That Man Is by David Sasley. I don't know. It is about 9 men and the story of each man and what they are supposed to do with their life. In the next bag we have Lucy by the Sea by Elizabeth Strout. I recently bought another one by Elizabeth Strout. I still have to read that one. I believe there's a whole series of these Lucy by the Sea books. And this one deals with her and her ex-husband, who for some reason have to spend time together again. And then they talk about their relationship, I think, and why it was as complex and what happened. Next in here we have Northwood by Daniel Mason. It is happening over 4 centuries. These 4 centuries are portrayed in one house. Yeah, I think it's this one home. And then it's sort of a symbol for things that changed throughout centuries over the whole of England or even the whole of the world. Then 2 small books in here and then the bag can go. Both by Claire Keegan. We have So Late in the Day and we have Foster. Now I recently finished Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan and I enjoyed that one a lot. So that's why I got these two, and because they are very thin, they are easy to fit in somewhere if I want to add that extra book to my reading list. Foster is about a child or children who are taken away from their home, I believe, and then they are ending up in a good family, but start to discover things. I just want to discover things. And then in So Late in the Day are just the thoughts, I think, of someone who didn't end up with someone else that they loved at a certain point in their life. And I think it's just the ongoing thoughts or remembering and trying to imagine what life could have been like. But I'll see. Moving on to the last bag. We have Into the Wild by John Krakauer, which is about a man who goes alone into the wild and then 4 months later he is found dead, I think. And I suppose that we will discover how he ended up dead. Next we have The Solitude of Prime Numbers, which I still have to read. It's written by Paolo Giordano. And it is about these 2 people who are better off alone, or they feel better off alone. They do not really match with other people, so they consider themselves prime numbers, I think, or that is the reason why prime numbers is in the title. because they can only be with themselves or divided by themselves. Then we have The Collector by John Fowles. About 20 years ago I read The French Lieutenant's Woman, which I did enjoy, but which was maybe quite heavy for my age back then. So I am interested to read another John Fowles and see how that takes me now, or how I feel about it now. Then I got, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, which I already own and have already read. But this time I got the cloth-bound version, the Penguin cloth-bound version, because I collect those slowly, very, very slowly. And the last one is Notes from Underground by Dostoevsky. Just because it is on my list of books that I someday have to read, or think that I should read someday. So at least now I have it and I can gravitate towards it if I feel like it. Alright, let me know in the comments what you think of my choices, if you would have chosen the same books, or if you would have warned me against any of these. See you later! The one who has been least happy about the snow has been my cat, Nikki. As you can see, she doesn't like to go outside when the snow was lying there. I guess it was too wet for her. And she has been mewing my ear off, and I have been finding her everywhere around the house, in places that she usually isn't. Probably trying to find some things to distract her. As she is normally a very active cat, she likes to hunt. She regularly takes in mice, or leaves them at the back door. Now she cannot really do that, and she is staying at home now, a bit more of a pet than usual, but we love her all the same, even when we find her in the tub being bored and I guess playing hide and seek. Let me show you some of the work that I've been doing in my reading journal over the past few days. First off, on the left side you can see what I wrote down for Howl by Ginsberg, which I read at the beginning of this vlog. Howl is one of the poems in this little booklet, and it is very much a protest poem. It has a lot of exclamation marks, well, especially in the second part and in the third part of the poem, which isn't particularly my taste. I prefer rhyme and rhythm much more than this kind of poetry. In Howl there are also a lot of references to people who were living at the time, or people who were in some way remarkable or related to Ginsberg, which is also not quite my cup of tea. But besides that, I could definitely see all the potential of this kind of poetry. I did see some poems in here, because Howl is not the only poem in there that I did quite like, and he definitely has a way with words which I could appreciate, so I gave that one 3 stars in the end. And then here you can see me setting up my page for King Lear by William Shakespeare, which I also read, or which you saw me reading already. Now, King Lear is a play, and it is about this king who has 3 daughters, and one day when he is getting a bit older, he asks all 3 of his daughters how much they love him. And the first 2 give him this bright description about how he is the most important thing to them and they couldn't live without him, and etc, etc. And then the third daughter doesn't really have a way with words, and she is a bit more prosaic, so to say, and the king feels very insulted and he banishes her, or he gives her away to any man that will have her, which happens to be the King of France, so not too bad there. But besides that, I thought it was kind of unfair, because a father should definitely know his daughters better than just to judge them on one thing that they are saying or not able to say, right? Now after that, he decides to divide up his kingdom between his two eldest daughters, and after that they sort of kick him out, literally actually, into a storm. And he realizes that neither of those daughters truly loves him or wants to take care of him in his old day. And slowly he turns mad with the realization that he kicked out the only daughter that actually cared about him. Now, besides that storyline, there is also a storyline. No, there are two storylines about people who pretend to be someone else. And that kind of has to serve as the filler in the middle of this play, which was too bad, because I liked the idea, the general idea of the King Lear story, but it is only functional at the beginning of the play and at the end of the play, and in between we just have the king starting to lose his marbles, and you need other things to fill out that story, which was quite clear. And then also the ending wasn't for me particularly. I don't want to say how it ends, although I doubt it would be a spoiler at this point. I mean, King Lear has been around for what, like 400 years or something. But the ending wasn't particularly great. I thought it left a lot out. It could have definitely been better. And that is why I ended up giving King Lear 3 stars as well, as you can see here. The last book that I managed to finish for this vlog is Macbeth by William Shakespeare. I like this one a lot better than King Lear. Macbeth is about this man, Macbeth, who after a battle together with his friend Banquo meets these three weird sisters who are three witches, and they predict that Macbeth will be one day king of Scotland, because this is the Scottish play. And then Macbeth tells his wife, Lady Macbeth, only called Lady in here, and she decides to motivate him, encourage him to take King Duncan's life so he can step in and become the king sooner rather than later. So they plot this together. And then afterwards, both of them show signs of guilt in different ways. Macbeth starts to see the ghost of Banquo, who he also has killed, because Banquo knew about the prediction by the witches and could put two and two together, of course. And Lady Macbeth starts to sleepwalk and talk in her sleep, which also betrays her and, well, what she has done and the crimes they have committed. Now, this one was a lot better than King Lear, because this whole play is actually about what is going on. It's a continuation. There is not a hole in the middle that needed to be filled. And I also very much love the magical elements in here, like the three witches and the ghost that you see. And I loved the predictions that the three witches make later on after they have talked to Hecate. Because those are kind of riddles, and of course I've read this play before. I knew what they were, but still I thought it was well found. I thought it were great ideas, and yes, this is definitely a very good play that I would like to see acted out maybe one day in for real. I would definitely enjoy that. But anyway, that's it for this reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that winter where you are is exactly the way you want it to be, whether it be snowy like it was here, or if it is sunny, if you prefer that. And I hope to see you soon in another video. If you like this one, please like, subscribe. If you haven't done so already, I would appreciate it very much. And I hope to see you soon. Bye!